Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a different kind of video than what I am used to making. This event happened a few years ago and I'm finally ready to talk about it because of course at the time when it happened, I had only breathed a word to it to 2 people ever in my life, and now I'm about to share it with you guys because some of you can probably relate. Once upon a time ago, I was in a relationship with someone who I was like really in love with. I thought that, we were going to have a future, we were going to be together, the whole 9 yards. I just thought that that was going to be the one for me. But one of the reasons why it was not the one for me is because it was an extremely unhealthy relationship and very toxic. I did a story time about this guy before, actually. And it was a story time about how I got rid of my toxic sexual soul tie, or whatever I called it. So this is about that same guy. I think in that video I named him Darnell, so we just gonna keep that name here too. So Darnell, he was like 6 years older than me, and I had really fallen in love with him just because of how much I felt like he genuinely loved me. And we were together, but I realized that he had some traits about himself that made me feel like, okay, this isn't gonna work, because it's like the opposite. Like, I feel like he would be like, you could say extremely like obsessive over me, and just doing crazy spontaneous things. The type of person where sometimes they don't think about their actions before they just do them. Like, there would be a lot of times in our relationship where he would casually joke about unaliving me, because we can't say certain words on YouTube, so I don't want them to take my video down. He didn't have a problem popping up at wherever I was at. When I would be out with friends or family, he would be blowing my phone up back to back to back. Let me not answer that phone, and he was gonna be blowing it up. Now, he never physically hit me or nothing like that. He did used to make some threats. Of course, like I said, if offing me or whatever, and I used to always correct him, like, babe, like, don't play like that, like, I don't think that's funny. And then make it so bad, around that time, it's like all over social media there were so many girls like going through domestic violence situations. I don't take too lightly if my partner keeps on telling me like that they're going to end it for me, like if I do certain stuff like that. So I would just try to tell him like, hey, like, don't talk like that, I don't think it's funny, because I didn't want to leave him, obviously. So I tried to address the situation and to get him to stop acting so crazy. But I mean, that never happened. So eventually, me and Darnell, we did end up, splitting up. I ended up leaving him because I couldn't take the toxicness anymore, because I don't consider myself a toxic woman. Now, don't get me wrong, I have some ways about myself to where I could say things that'll really like hurt somebody or get up under somebody's skin. But as far as like provoking somebody to anger, that's just not me. And I feel like that Darnell used to do that a lot. Like, if I tell you that something makes me angry and you keep on poking at the bear, then you get surprised at what comes out of my mouth. It's like, what the hell did you expect? I ain't saying it's right, I'm just saying that's how it used to go. And when I tell y'all, like, Darnell was very handsome. Of course, the type of guy that get any woman that he wanted to get. He didn't have a problem getting women. He was like over 6 feet tall, very handsome. Light brown, pretty eyes, pretty eyelashes. Physically, he was that for me. As you can see, I wasn't feeling valued as a woman. I feel like there was a lot of things that I was doing on my own, and I couldn't get into his like toxic ways, pulling up on me, just doing whatever he wanted to do. Like, this man would literally take my phone sometimes and run in the bathroom just to like check my stuff. And now I used to check his phone too, but it's like, if you started with me, then now I'm just gonna assume that something fishy's going on. So we have had like some really bad arguments. I can tell y'all about one time, and this is not even the overall events of why I'm making this video. Okay, he used to pull up at my job all the time, and he used to sit outside my job for hours. And he is currently at the front door, and he's parked on the side of the house to try to make it seem like he don't live. When I did not want to talk to him, because I was just tired. I was drained. I'm just like, okay, so obviously you're not going to be the man that I thought that you could be. You know how we ladies, we fall in love with potential, knowing good and darn well, like, okay, it's not him. We need to learn how to take people as they are. So he would pull up at my job when I wouldn't talk to him. And it would like really, really embarrass me because I didn't want anybody else, you know, trying to get involved because I didn't know what he was capable of. I didn't want to find out. I didn't want somebody, you know, getting hurt because of me, basically. Like, I used to work at a group home, you guys, and there was one time where I wouldn't come outside to talk to him because he had made me mad. So he got out of his car and he came up to the door and he knocked. He knocked on the house door, and I was just so freaking embarrassed. And it's like, the crazy part about it is the dude that had opened up the door was the dude that, you know, one of the dudes I had started talking to, you know, after me and Darnell had split, because it was one of those situations where, you know how, like, y'all can't be together, but y'all can't leave each other alone either. Like, it's just that bad. And so the dude had opened up the door and he was like, tell Nikki to come outside or whatever. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like, and then the dude was like, man, she at work. And so he was like, tell her to come outside. So I hopped up because I didn't want nothing, you know, transpiring between them. I didn't want to put nobody in that type of situation because I was scared of, you know, what was going to happen. Then we went outside. We went to his car. We sat in his car. We started talking. We got into an argument. And, you know, he had started pulling off the car while I was at work. And I'm up here, like, screaming at him, telling him, like, I can't leave work. Like, stop. What is you doing? Like, I forgot why we started arguing, but make it so bad. Okay, he pulled off from my job with me in the car, knowing good and well I could lose my job at this point, the livelihood for my kids. And so he just gets to going down the road. I'm yelling at him the whole entire time. Like, he won't give me, I think he had my phone in my jacket, he wouldn't give me my stuff back. So it's like we basically having like tug of war in the damn car. Like, I'm like, give me my stuff, and he like, no. Like, he yelling at me and I'm yelling at him. And there was a point in time where he had pulled up like beside the community college that we got down here. So I had opened up the door and I got out and I started walking, and he was yelling at me like, get back in the car. What is you doing? Get back in the car. And I'm like, no, like, I'm sick of this. Like, stop. Give me my stuff and take me back to work before you get me in trouble. At first he was saying, okay, just get back in the car. So I got back in the car. And of course, when I got back to work, the dude I used to talk to, he was like, so where did y'all go? What did y'all go do? He was up here thinking that, you know, we was probably getting freaky or something like that. But in all actuality, I'm out here fighting for my freaking life. I'm out here like, whew, trying not to be the type of woman that puts her hands on a man, because I understand a man's strength and I don't challenge that. But it's like when you have my stuff and you won't give it to me, it turns me into a different type of person. I started feeling like that Darnell would bring out the worst in me sometimes, because I don't even behave the way that I would be behaving with him when he reaches me to my level. And like, there was this one time where I was like struggling trying to get my phone back from him, and I accidentally like ended up, I think, like hitting him with the door because I was trying to get my stuff. Like, stuff like that, it brings me out of my comfort zone, and I don't like to be that type of person. It's just like, when I would really try to break it off with Darnell, he would literally stalk me, you guys. And if y'all were to see this man, y'all would be like, there's no way that he did that, because he was severely attractive. He is seriously following me. Oh my God. Go back to work. You're not coming with me. Why would you leave work? Please go back to work. Why not? You're not coming with me. Say it to the camera, because you following me right now, and I told you to go back to work. Yes, you need to. Do you see me? Evidence that you following me. You want me to? But what I have realized is a lot of these men that are really attractive, they have mental health issues. They're not right up top, although their physical is what a lot of people, you know, would be attracted to. And there was one time like where I was paying for my car insurance or whatever, and I had not been returning his calls because he didn't want nothing positive. I didn't feel like wasting my time. Then all of a sudden, you guys, as I'm in there paying for my insurance, there's this man, he's inside, he's like, hey, somebody's out there by your car. Now I start getting anxiety in my chest because I'm like, who could be out there by my car? Like, I'm not, nobody's waiting on me. Y'all, I kid you not, when I walk outside, please tell me why Darnell is posted up by my car. It's like, how the hell did you even find me? I was like, it felt like I was in a movie, honestly. I was like, Darnell, what are you doing here? And then he was just like, well, you know, you wasn't answering the phone. I just so happened to drive by and see your car out here, so. And I just kept on telling him, like, it's over. We ain't getting back together. It's just like he would bring out the toxicness in me, because it's like the thrill of it all. It's like, no, this isn't what I want, but it's like I can't believe that it's going this far. Like, when I say, y'all, this man here used to just wait and scope out the place. Like, sometimes I would literally be scared for my damn life, but I would be too scared to open up my mouth because I didn't want to get him in trouble. I didn't want other people getting involved, because I know how quickly situations can escalate. So when I finally did leave Darnell and he didn't want to, you know, accept the fact that we're literally never getting back together, I kept on telling him, look, I think that you should go out and find you a girlfriend, because obviously I'm not the right person for you. Like, I was the type where I kept on trying to encourage him to do better, lift him up, build him up, all of that ghetto jitty jazz that I don't do none of that nowadays, because it's not my job to parent a grown man. You get what I'm saying? And so I used to tell him, I think that you should just go ahead and find a girlfriend, because I can't do this no more. It's not working out. Like, you're not meeting me here at where I'm at. Like, I can't keep on being the backbone for both of us. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like taking an emotional and mental toll on me. We had broken up, but we would still have to keep in contact. And okay, so I had planned to go to Huntsville with my sisters and my cousins, because listen, y'all, when I'm going anywhere other than the city, I like to dress up. I like to look good. I like to scope out the scene. I like to see new men. Like, I'm going to just keep it a buck. I'm a young single woman. So it's like, I want to enjoy my life, especially since I lost a couple of years, you know, by having my kids so early. So we had planned to go to Huntsville, and we went, y'all. When I say we had a blast, we had a really good time. Of course, the girl racked up on her some phone numbers, because let me tell y'all this, when we broke up, Darnell started doing him. Darnell didn't waste no time. These men cannot stand to be by themselves, okay? Darnell, he was already, and he would be open and honest with me about, you know, he was already on, like, dating apps, talking to women. He was talking to all different types of women, and it's like, it hurt my soul, but at the end of the day, I know that he's an attractive man and we're not together. And if I keep on telling you, pushing you away, saying that you should find you somebody else, eventually that's what you're gonna do. He was even entertaining a woman in a wheelchair, and I don't have nothing against people in wheelchairs, but it's like, bro, like, really? Like, at this point, I'm just feeling like you'll just talk to anybody at this point, you know, just to be over me. And he had talked to a few women, and he had chilled with a few women, and sometimes he would tell me, you know, what all that consisted of. Don't know if it was true or not, but whatever. And so he was the type where he didn't really care about what he did, and he would always tell me that he was crazy. He would tell me that, you know, he felt like that he was a demon. And I just say that to say, y'all, sometimes y'all really do be sleeping with the devil. Like, that's not even a joke. I don't even like when people play like that. And I know, y'all, like, in the beginning of our relationship, there was so many red flags that I ignored because he was physically attractive to me. So it's like the red flags started looking a lot like green. And, you know, when your feelings get involved, your emotions get involved, your soul get involved, it's like you can't even leave this person alone if you wanted to. From our very first phone conversation, that should have told me to run the other way, because we was on the phone. And he was like, what are you over there doing? And I was like, oh, nothing. I'm just such and such. He was like, oh. He was basically like, oh, well, it sounds like you over there having sex while we on the phone. And I'm just like, honey, that should have let me know. That was super duper weird. You know, you should skedaddle and you should run for the hills, right? But I ignored my women's intuition, and that's what a lot of us have to stop doing. While I'm on the trip to Huntsville with my kinfolk, he was blowing my phone up back to back because I was not responding fast enough. He would hang up, call, hang up, call, hang up, call. I had to block him. He would start calling from Snapchat. He was just literally like harassment at this point. So, and I hate to be this friend, but this is exactly who I was. Like, I would be arguing with my man when I'm supposed to be enjoying my time with the girls. So I'm up here just going in on him like,
you see I'm out. Like, why you keep calling me? Like, stop freaking calling me. You freaking embarrassing me in front of everybody.
Like, I hate when attention is drawn to me, y'all. Y'all do not understand. It makes my anxiety act up because I don't want people seeing me like that. But this man, he knew how to bring it out of me. And like, I'm just going in on him, and he's just calm. He's like, well, you should have answered the phone. Well, you should have answered when I called. You know how I get when I get mad. You know how I get, so you should have answered. And I'm like, I don't have to answer every time you call me. I don't. And the fact that you know I'm out and you want to do this stuff in front of everybody, like, you don't care how badly it's affecting me or whatever. So we did that. Got back cool, of course. Then when I came back, I had went to go see him, and which I shouldn't have did, but I can't give too much details as to why I had to. So anyways, boom, we just start talking. We start arguing. I think at the time he stayed with his parents, so we started arguing in the house. And then I think like he ended up, some of it is still foggy because it happened a few years ago. He ended up like grabbing my phone and running outside. So even though I'm a single woman, the anxiety still rose because one of the guys whose number I had got in Huntsville, he was supposed to call me shortly. He ended up being a... So anyways, girls, let's just stay on topic, okay? So Darnell ended up grabbing my phone. He ran outside. So I'm literally chasing this man. And y'all, okay, a lot of you do not know, I was born clubfoot. So, you know, any amount of like standing or running is going to like make my feet hurt. I can't stand for long periods of times. A lot of times I already walk with a limp because of my condition. And so he had took off running outside or whatever. And he was like, I had never seen him react this type of way. So his dad was outside or whatever. He took off running outside. He just kept, and mind you guys, he's way taller than me. Like, I'm short and he's really tall. So he would run, grab my phone, and he would hold it up so I couldn't get it. So I'm basically like grabbing this man by his clothes, like, give me my damn phone back. Like, stop freaking playing. Like, I didn't say nothing about all the stuff that you had going on with all of the women that you have been talking to. But the moment I want to do something and show you like I can attract men too, it's a problem. Like, what's the problem? I'm a reflection of you, twin. Like, why are you so upset? You thought that you was gonna be the only person that think that I look good? And like, that's not even on nothing cocky. I mean, we as women, we have to understand, okay? The same way we got that when we can show enough get another one, and it's never that much pressure about it. So I was basically telling him like, I wasn't even giving you that much of a hard time when you had started talking to all of these women. I was not even doing none of that. That's the crazy part about it. And that's what I don't understand about guys. It's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But nowadays I don't even, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so I'm literally grabbing him by his shirt. Like, I think I ended up ripping this man's shirt because I could not keep up with him. I'm not a runner. I'm clubfoot. He was running and laughing and smiling, y'all. It made me feel like I'm insane. His daddy was standing outside. His daddy was like, boy, stop, boy, stop, boy, stop. And I'm like, can you do more than that, okay? Can you control him? Because nobody could control him, honestly. Like, that was a grown man. He was going to do whatever he wanted to do, and he was just toxic. Too toxic for me. That don't turn me on at all. And so, long story short, y'all, we literally, and mind you, it's dark outside. When he stayed with his parents, they used to stay by like an abandoned hotel. And okay, here's the house. Okay, the house, a church. Across the street from the church, it's like a little field, and then there's the abandoned hotel. So he ran over there, and mind you guys, it's dark outside, but there was like, you know, some lights on out there. Now, I didn't want to go over there, but it's like, I started fearing that the dude that I had just gave my number to was going to call me while he had my phone. And I didn't want nobody to think, my mind goes everywhere. I didn't want the dude whose number that I had just gotten to think that like I'm trying to set him up, or that I'm a liar, or that I actually have a man and I'm trying to, you know, sneak off and, you know, do my own thing. That was not even the case. So when he ran over there in the little abandoned field, he was, you know, still just yelling at me. He had been yelling at me, you know, to unlock my phone so he can get inside my phone. And so I just kept on telling him no, because it's like, I don't owe you that. We not together. You've been doing your own thing, right? And so it's like he kept on saying, unlock your phone, well, you ain't getting it back. You guys, at this time, my feet were hurting so freaking bad. It felt like my damn feet was bleeding, because I'm up here trying to chase this grown man to get my phone back that I paid the bill for. He didn't pay for nothing, okay? I'm up here trying to get my phone back, and he just would not give it to me. And so he's like, Nikki, if you don't open up this phone, I'm going to break your screen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, don't even do that, because you're going to be the one paying for it. You know, you break my stuff, because no, just no. Now, mind you guys, the whole time we're out here arguing, his parents, you know, they were in the house, but nobody came over there to see what we were doing. Nobody came to check on us. nothing. So it's basically like me against a freaking giant. And I was honestly like really, really scared for myself because he had been crazy before, but he had never did nothing to this extent. And that made me very, very like fearful. He's yelling at me, I won't do it. At this point, it's like, how can I explain this? It's like for a minute, okay, he had a gun with him, and I had stopped chasing him or whatever. So we was just standing over there like in a little field. Just us. So he had a gun on him or whatever. And I think he was threatening me with his gun. I can't really remember because it's kind of a blur. And I'm just like, would you just stop? Like, yada, 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 whatever. And he's just basically like, no. So he pulled his gun out. And he was basically telling me, like, he gonna aim this gun at me if I don't unlock my phone. And I'm still saying, like, no. And mind you, at this point, like, I'm freaking crying. My feet freaking hurts.
Oh, no. 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 No, 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 no.
I can't believe that we have gotten into it this bad. This is so out of my character. I'm out of my element. I'm out of my comfort zone. And right now I'm being a person that I didn't know I would have to be around him. Next thing I know, he pulled out his gun and he had like aimed it at my face or whatever. Like I said, nobody's there but us. So there were a lot of things going through my mind at this time. You know, as I stared at him like through my tears, like I was crying so freaking hard. I'm looking at his eyes. It's like, I had never seen him like that. It's basically like his eyes were just black. It's like he couldn't see me for who I was. I don't know. It took him to a place. He was very angry and pointing his gun at me, telling me like, unlock this freaking phone. So you guys, I apologize if the quality is different. My camera just cut off, so I'm finna just use my phone to be on the safe side. I was just crying, talking to him, begging, pleading, you know, all of that type of stuff. And I guess one of the worst parts for me was the fact that he could clearly tell that I was in pain from my feet because he knows that I'm clear-footed, and it's like he didn't care that I was in pain from, you know, having to chase him around. I'm up here freaking limping. He ended up, you know, cracking my screen to my phone. I can't remember if he accidentally dropped it or if he did it on purpose or whatever. He ended up getting it fixed after that, but it's still the fact that it happened. And I was just right there like, wow, like if he was to, you know, do something to me right now, nobody would know anything. Nobody would know how it happened, why it happened. It just would have been nobody over there. Like my kids would have had to grow up without a mother, and I just couldn't fathom the idea of somebody else like having to actually like raise them. But like I said, I never breathed a word about it to nobody except two people because I had been holding it in because I didn't want nobody else trying to get involved. I didn't want anybody to get hurt because of him. Like I said, he kind of showed me what he was capable of, and I didn't want nothing further to happen. Oh God, it's really embarrassing to say, even after that situation, I still struggled with leaving this man alone. I still struggled with not being with him, not being around him. It was very, very hard. That's why I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say nothing because it's like, well, you still talking to him, so what difference does it make? I just started thinking like, well, who would believe you with no proof that, you know, he could have just, you know, blew your brains out over here and you still entertaining him. Now, for a while, I think I tried to stay away, but soul ties, them soul ties is so real, y'all. Eventually, when he did move on and get a girlfriend, it still didn't change the fact that he still, like, was still trying to be with me. But I just felt like I couldn't be with a man like that. I couldn't be with a man that seems like that. He has no self-control when he's angry, because I just feel like that he would really truly hurt me, even though he would say like, I just be saying stuff like that, like I would never hurt you. But it's like you pulled a pew pew out on me, you know what I'm saying? And I was all alone and crying to you, and you still had no sympathy and no remorse. And I knew that I made the right decision to walk away from that relationship. When I walked away from that relationship, everything in my life started to prosper, and I can't even make that up. That was one of the most toughest, hardest moments of my life, but it's like everything that I wanted, I started going after, and I was actually being successful with it. I was able to move. I was able to just do anything. Like, I was just getting blessings back to back to back to back to back. Because, you know, oftentimes when you're involved in a situation like that, you start to second guess yourself, especially when you're used to being with somebody for so long and you really, really, really wanted it to be them. You really wanted them to be the one. But all of the events was just telling me that this is not the person for you. And it's either you get out or eventually, you know, you get hurt and somebody else is going to be raising your kids and you're not going to know what's going on because you're going to be 6 feet under. So it took some time, but eventually I did it. And I don't know, it's just like nowadays, toxicity and stuff like that is really, really normalized, especially with people, you know, among my age, near my age and stuff like that. And with me having gone through a situation where it seems like, you know, he was kind of acting very, very obsessive, but also still, you know, doing his own thing as well. It's just really, really scary to me. Like, I don't like that type of stuff. I hate that people glamorize that type of stuff because it's a lot of women out here that are actually getting hurt. So my advice would be, if somebody keeps on threatening to hurt you, you should believe them. You shouldn't keep on wasting your time hoping that they'll change. All that praying, all that speaking life, all of that positivity that I tried to like let shed on him, it did not work. It did not change him because he is who he is. And it was very, very hard for me to accept that because the man I had fell in love with, I was used to, on the most part, seeing his softer side, seeing the love that he showed me, seeing the love that I thought was genuine at that time. And to see that I could make him that angry to want to do that to me, that let me know that you have to make a change. You have to. You can't go on like this. How is this to live? Never knowing what somebody is capable of. Somebody, you know, pulling up outside your house, beating on your door, waiting outside in that car, just waiting for you to, you know, open up your door, making threats to you. Like, it's like he had the time, okay? When I say sitting outside of my job in my house for hours until I finally gave in. And one of the reasons why I was not trying to go near him is because of the sexual chemistry that we had. Like, I can't even, it's hard to explain. I didn't want to get around him and we end up having sex because sex fixes absolutely nothing. Yeah, it feels great at the moment, but it doesn't fix any issues. It doesn't fix any problems. If anything, it just makes it worse. So anyways, you guys, I just wanted to share that little story time with you guys. If you're going through something similar, I hope that you make the right decision for your life and choose to walk away because it's not cute. It's not safe. Nobody should have to live like that. Your girl need therapy, and one day I will invest because I done been through some very, very crazy situations. Which is why I feel like I'm finally ready to discuss this situation because it could be helpful to somebody else. It's crazy because I feel like at that moment he could have ended it all if he really, really wanted to. Like, y'all could be seeing my name out here on some obituaries or on somebody's t-shirt trying to sell a fish plate to pay for my funeral. And I know it's not funny, but I'm trying to make light of it because it was one of the scariest situations that I have ever had in my life from the person that I loved so deeply. So anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. I hope it wasn't too bizarre for you, girl. And if you're in a similar situation, just wake up, smell the coffee, and
Get out.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out! Yo! Yeah! Yo, chill, man. Get out! Chill! Get out!